I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Springfield Economic Development Agency with a roll call, please.
Board Member Van Gordon. Here. Board Member Pitts.
Here.
Board Member Moe.
Here.
Board Member Rodley.
Here.
Board Member Stair.
Here.
Board Member Woodrow. Board Member Piscineri.
Here, thank you.
And Board Member Bernie.
As we begin our meeting tonight, I would like to ask members of the audience who are joining us by phone or online to please keep yourselves on mute until you are called to provide public testimony. There will be one time designated for public testimony this evening and will be listed as business from the audience. If you're attending in person, please complete the request to speak card located at the entrance of council chambers and give them to the city recorder. If you're joining us online with a tablet, smartphone, or computer and wish to speak either of those times, please use the raise hand feature in Zoom. The order of public testimony is as follows. First, is there anyone in person in the council chambers tonight?
No, there's not.
There is not. And is there anyone online or by phone who has raised their virtual hand?
We'll know that when we get to the next item.
Okay. And could we have the next item then, please?
Yes, the next item is business from the audience. And if you would like to speak, raise your hand and we'll get you in the queue. We currently have one hand.
Right.
The next speaker would be Daphne Mantis. And Daphne, you should be able to unmute your microphone. All right, Daphne, try that one more time.
Okay,
Got it.
my name is Daphne Mantis. I live on West D Street in Springfield. And I have some questions that I hope will be addressed, answered in this meeting. First, what is the status of hiring planners to develop a master plan for Glenwood development? Second, is it accurate to describe the master plan as an update of the Glenwood refinement plan? And if that's not an accurate description, what is an accurate description of the master plan? Third, how can a master plan be developed in the absence of a specific development proposal for Glenwood? Fourth, what is the expected timeline for having a completed master plan and a specific development proposal? Fifth, what is expected timeline for community input for either development of the master plan or specific development proposal? Sixth, when will you hire a replacement for Courtney Greasel? And seventh, how will you be informing the community about these processes? Thank you in advance for answering my questions.
Well, does anyone have any kind of response to Daphne Mantis or her questions? Okay. Yes, City Manager Nancy Newton.
Thank you, Councilor Stair. I would just want to encourage maybe perhaps Ms. Mantis, I heard, I believe 6 different questions there. If you would feel comfortable emailing those to the city, you can send them to myself personally or to the city manager's general mailbox, and we can get those directed to you. My email address is nnewton@springfield-or.gov. I will provide some updates to council when we get further along in some of these recruiting processes, but we are well on our way to hopefully getting a replacement for Ms. Greasel. Thank you.
Great. Thanks for your testimony, Daphne. Anyone else?
Looks like we have no other hands for business from the audience.
All right. Next item, please.
Next item is new business. Item number 1, Glenwood real property transaction, Ramsey Properties. Christina Kraz is here for the staff report.
Thank you. And that is actually a typo, I think, in the agenda copied over from last time. These are not the Ramsey properties that we're
sorry.
discussing tonight. I didn't catch that until just before this meeting as well. Forgot to tell you, Neil. So these are actually two different properties located adjacent to the Ramsey properties. The SEDA is under contract for closing on those Ramsey properties under the previously authorized purchase and sale agreement by SEDA. The properties tonight are addressed as 247, 267, and 277 North Concord and 287 North Concord Street. And they are smaller lots that would be, if sold to SEDA, incorporated into the master plan area once that work is underway. The negotiations have been conducted through a real estate broker hired on behalf of SEDA and reflect considerations such as the appraised price and cash flow values associated with the rental incomes on the properties. If SEDA approves these sales tonight, the next step, approves entering into these purchase and sale agreements, the next step will be in this acquisition will be for staff to return with a SEDA urban renewal plan amendment to add these properties and potentially others that could be included in the master plan area to the Glenwood urban renewal plan that just reflects that SEDA may acquire them and use them for redevelopment. In addition, I think in your next meeting, there'll be a discussion from Nathan Bell, Finance Director, regarding proposed borrowing by SEDA to finance these acquisitions, the sale price of other properties that are under contract with SEDA, as well as costs for the master plan and other work that are all part of this project. So sort of forecasting what the next steps are in terms of trying to get a cohesive property and financial resources available to do that master planning work.
Thanks. Does anybody have any questions? Great.
I do.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting to look over there, Joe. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah, Asian Pictionary.
Hey, so I saw Christina on the, and hopefully I'm not mixing stuff from previous meeting into this meeting, but it seems like I recall that there was an assessment, a level 1 environmental assessment that was to be conducted at our discretion, the purchaser's discretion. And then it says, in this current agreement, it says for the level 2 with the prior consent of the seller for each instance. But it seems that I read that part of the agreement would also be that the seller accepts financial responsibility should there be site improvements required or site remediation required. And I don't see it in this one.
So in the Shevchuk and Kramer purchase and sale agreements, it gives purchaser the right to perform any environmental assessment that requires soil analysis, groundwater testing, or other studies commonly associated with phase 1 or 2 environmental assessment. And that's under 6.1. And
Right.
then also provides that the section 6.2 discusses the payment responsibility for those. So
Okay,
under,
and that's just for the assessment, is that right?
so for the phase 1 or phase 2 environmental assessments. So the way that these are negotiated is that SEDA pays for the phase 1 environmental assessment, which is a less in-depth assessment typically. And if that phase 1 assessment indicates the need for further assessment, then the parties will confer regarding who is responsible for paying the cost of that. But ultimately, SEDA has the right to require one or walk away from the transaction if one is not
Based on
performed.
the results of the assessment, is that correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so we're in a power position in regards to if we find something that needs to be mitigated and it's going to cost some bucks, then we can say, hey, you're either going to fix it yourself or we're backing out.
Correct, that's the intent, that's the
Okay.
effect of all of chapter or section 6.
Yeah, I just want to make sure our back end was covered. Okay, thank you very much. Very thorough.
Anyone else? Is there any action required tonight?
Yes,
Okay. Could we have a motion, please?
I will make that motion. I move we authorize the city manager to enter into purchase and sale agreements for 3 parcels of real property in the Glenwood Riverfront area, map 17-03-34-42, tax lots 1200, 1300, and 1400, upon the terms as substantially provided in attachments 2 and 3.
I'll second it.
We have a vote, please.
Board Member Van Gordon,
Yes.
Board Member Pitts,
Aye.
Board Member Mo,
Yes.
Board Member Rodley,
Yes,
Board Member Stair,
Aye.
Board Member Woodrow, Board Member Pictionary,
Yes,
and Board Member Bernie.
Next item, please.
That's your agenda for this evening.
Before we adjourn, I wanted to ask, could the answers that the city is providing to Daphne Manis be posted somewhere on the website? Or is that regular?
I'm sorry.
Is that regular?
We don't ordinarily, mainly because of just the way our website is configured right now. That's something we're working on. We have a contract, so it's, other people do updates to our website. So we don't necessarily have a place for that right now, but let me check into that.
Okay, good deal. Thank you.
Leonard.
Yes, I'm sorry.
now I'm
Agent
jumping into the discussion.
Agent Rodley?
Maybe they could be part of a future SEDA packet or something. I don't know. I'm not the boss of it, but
That's possible.
maybe that's a way to make it public. I don't know.
Very good. Anything else? Well, thank you all for your participation tonight. Thank the public for attending, and we're adjourned.